So, we're not even halfway through January and you've already failed your resolution. The psychology behind why that might be coming up. Hey guys, Nevern here, shrinking out loud. Today we're going to be talking about why your resolutions have already failed. I can tell that people have already failed at their resolutions by all the 2021 is my year memes. So what does psychology have to say about New Year's resolutions and why we might fail at them? Well, one way of understanding this, and I stress that it is one way, I'm not omniscient. Is omniscient the right word? Never mind. One way of answering this question is by looking at the Transtheoretical model of behavior change. So, psychologists have been intrigued with how people come to change their behaviors for a long time. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people come to therapy to change some aspect of themselves, some behavior, or even to gain the courage to change their environment. One way we've come to understand how exactly behavior is changed is through said model. The Transtheoretical model of behavior change says that there are different stages of change. So change is not just this thing that happens. You decide and then boom, new life, new me. But rather, behavior change is actually a complex process that has different stages. This is a very useful way of understanding behavior change because it allows us to check in with ourselves and see where exactly did I fail in changing my behavior. So the first stage is called Precontemplation. This is when you're not even thinking of changing. You don't even know that you have a problem. The next stage is the Contemplation phase. This is where you've actually come to realize that this needs to change. This is bad. I can't even. After your contemplation phase, you have your preparation phase. So this is where you start to put little things in place that will allow you to make the change. You are putting things in place to allow that behavior to change, such as maybe not buying cigarettes if you're trying to quit smoking, or getting rid of all the junk in the house if you want to stop eating junk. By junk I mean unhealthy food, but if you want to stop eating actual junk, that's okay too. This model could work. The fourth stage is the action stage. So this is when you've thought about it, you've put the things in place that need to be in place, and now you're actually acting on the behavior change. Your behavior has shifted. And finally, you have the maintenance phase. This is where you've put further things in place once you have already made the change to make sure that that change remains changed. So, why would this model be useful to you? Well, when these stages were created, the idea was that we can help people move through these phases, and that if you're stuck in one stage, you can engage in some activity to move you to the next phase. So for example, to move you from the pre-contemplation phase to the contemplation phase, something like a dramatic relief could happen. This is where you just hit rock bottom and you realize, oh my goodness, something has to change. Think about those deep conversations you had with your friend on a night out when the night didn't go according to plan. To move from contemplation into preparation, you might start engaging in something called reinforcement management. This is where you start to put in rewards for good behavior and punishments for bad behavior. Sometimes we try to change a behavior that can be really rewarding. So we need to make sure that when we do accomplish a bit of what we want to accomplish, that is followed by a reward. And that reward can be anything that you find absolutely cool. You do you. To move from action to maintenance, you could start engaging in something called stimulus control. This is where you make sure that the things that trigger the bad behavior are outside of your environment. You just put them away. Now, a pro tip for behavior change, and maybe why your New Year's resolutions didn't come to fruition, is because, as research shows, a lot of people are stuck in the action phase or the contemplation phase, and they miss that sweet spot in the middle, which is the preparation phase. Because a lot of people skim over this phase, they struggle to enact what they are trying to change, or they don't even get to the behavior itself. Spending some time in preparation is actually really important. Preparation doesn't mean thinking, because that would be in the contemplation phase. It means actually physically taking steps to create the best environment for change. It's removing all the triggers. It's making sure you know what rewards you're going to use for good behavior and what punishments you're going to use for bad behavior. Whatever it is you need to do in the preparation phase, do it. Spend some time there. And who knows, maybe 2021 could be your year. Thanks for watching, guys, and that's all I have for today. Please let me know in the comments below if you've been able to stick to your New Year's resolutions, and if so, how you think you might have accomplished that. Also let me know if you haven't, and then we can all wallow together. And if you would like some more videos on how to make the science a bit more helpful and how to make the self-help a bit more scientific, then consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. This has been Nevern. Until next time, keep shrinking out loud.